Hi guys, and welcome back to the Family Fudge. I'm Jennifer, and tonight for What's for Dinner Wednesday, I'm going to be sharing with you another mashup recipe. I'm going to be taking all the flavors of chicken parmesan and throwing them all into a pot and making a quick and easy soup. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it.
The Family Fudge, the Family Fudge. They are mostly sweet but full of nuts.
So I'm a big fan of chicken parmesan, but I don't always have time to make it the traditional way. So in my version of cheesy chicken parmesan soup, you get all the flavors but half the time. So let's get started. First off, we have the chicken. I'm going to be using about 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and these are actually tenders. You could use whole breast if you'd like, that's totally fine, but this makes it really easy to just chop them up. And then I'm going to be using a lot of cheese. I have both Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese. I'm going to be using some penne pasta. Now mine is gluten-free, but if you want to use regular, go ahead and do that. I'm also going to be using tomato paste and diced tomatoes. I have some Italian seasoning, some coconut oil, garlic, onion, salt and pepper, some chicken broth, and this part is optional, but since I needed it for another recipe, I have some parsley. So the first thing I'm going to do is chop up my chicken into bite-sized pieces. We're going to season the chicken with some salt and pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and brown up this chicken in about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. If you don't have coconut oil, you could definitely use olive oil. Now once I get the chicken in here, I'm actually going to lay it out in a thin layer and just leave it there. I want it to get nice and brown before I stir it up. So now my chicken is browned. It may not be cooked all the way through, but that's totally fine because it's going to go back into our soup later. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and scoop it out. That way we can brown our onions in the same pan. Okay, here's real life, guys. I walked away to help a child and my onions got a little bit more caramelized than I had planned, but that's probably fine, no big deal. So right now I'm actually going to add my crushed up garlic, and I'm going to let that cook for about a minute, and then I'm going to dump a bunch of other things in. Alright, it's smelling delicious in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my salt and pepper at this point. Now this is to taste, of course, but I think I'm going to start with half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And I'll probably give it a try closer to when it's done to see if it needs any more. Next comes my can of tomatoes. I'm also going to be putting a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, to this I'm going to be adding this entire container of chicken broth. This is 32 ounces. I'm going to give this a stir and let it simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes. And then I'm going to add my pasta. Mine are gluten-free, so my box says about 10 minutes for al dente, but you can follow the directions on your specific box. I'm just going to add this whole thing in there. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 8 minutes and check the doneness of my pasta at that point because I don't want to overcook my pasta. The time is up on my pasta, so I'm going to take out just about a spoonful and I'm going to test it and make sure that the noodles are all the way done. And I'm also going to check and see if it needs any more salt or pepper. Now I am going to be adding quite a bit of cheese into here, so I don't want to add too much salt. The noodles are perfectly cooked, So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the stove. But I am gonna shake in a little bit more salt and just a teeny bit more pepper. To your tastes, of course. And I'm gonna give that a stir. Now this isn't a very liquidy soup. Most of it's absorbed into the pasta. So it's on the thicker side. That's good for my little kids. It's less messy. Now for the cheese. I have 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese and 1 5-ounce container of shredded Parmesan. I'm gonna go ahead and add half of this container and half of this cup of cheese into our pot. I wasn't kidding when I called this dish cheesy. And I'm actually gonna stir this into my dish. Now I'm gonna take the remaining cheese and just put it on the top. Just like that. There's my Parmesan. And here's the rest of my mozzarella. Parsley is optional, but now would be the time to garnish it up. The heat has been off for a while, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put my lid on for maybe 1 to 2 minutes and let the cheese that's on top get nice and melted. And then it's ready to eat. All right, here it is. Ooh, that pot is heavy. Yum. Let's get us a bowl. Now to make this a little bit prettier, I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit more mozzarella cheese and maybe a couple more sprinkles of parsley. Now as you can see, this soup isn't super soupy, so if you want it more on the thin side, maybe add more chicken broth. Definitely tastes like chicken Parmesan. It doesn't taste like spaghetti with chicken at all. It's really good. I hope you guys love it. All right, there you have it. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, because I like to share a new recipe every Wednesday. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.